We're going to talk about differentials in these three cars. What's most important about these cars are all rear-wheel drive. So the power goes from the engine through the gearbox to the differential to the rear wheels to just power the rear. There is rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, obviously, as most of you know, but if you're not a little bitch, you get a rear-wheel drive car.
An open differential works perfectly as long as you remain in the limits of your traction.
For sporty usage, the open differential is okay-ish, but you gotta know where the differences are and what you need for your car. It's as long as you don't break traction too much and are within some limits, you can easily drive your daily or your sports car with an open differential. The problem you have with the open one is that it gets really unpredictable when drifting or oversteering. So why did the open differential work good for drifting?
It didn't work good. We took a lot of speed into the entry of the corner. So what we did is we tried to work with speed, with a lot of clutch kicks.
And force.
And
we had
force.
To brute force this car to go sideways.
Because with an open differential, your car really doesn't want to, so you have to make it do it.
It's okay for the road. As soon as you go into real drifting or wanna street drift seriously, which I obviously wouldn't recommend for legal reasons, you need a way to lock up your rear differential.
Yes.
That's what I did on this car. This car has usually an open differential as well, but I put in a limited slip differential, OS Geiken differential, and here we have the best of them all for drift usage, which is a welded differential. In usual driving conditions, the car feels like a normal open differential. What the clutch type differential does is as soon as you put power into the drive shaft, the differential recognizes the power and pushes out these clutch pegs. You will see an animation. So as soon as those clutch pegs push outwards, similarly with an usual clutch, you lock the rears, they're both rear tires, so they spin together, which is absolutely necessary if you wanna have controllable drifting. While talking about controllable drifting, the best one
good transition.
Is the welded differential for pure drift usage. And if you live in America, you just daily drive it because who gives a f?
You have blinkers and windshield wipers, so you're good to go, buddy.
The big downside on a welded differential is, especially as a daily, you can't corner properly because one tire just starts skipping, which you will see now in this animation or in this. Was du jetzt siehst, Havara.
What we're now going to demonstrate is, you will see. Wie das im Video ist, mit dem Reifen und dass wir das erst recht vergessen haben.
That's what it looks like with a welded differential. On the other hand, when you do the same thing with an open differential or the Miata with a limited slip differential, you shouldn't notice any difference to normal driving.
Hello boys, I'm just commenting from the side in this video.
Here you can see me driving with the car as usual, no lockups, nothing interrupting the normal flow of drive. But when I get on the gas rather aggressively, you heard a little skipping sound on the rear, which is the differential trying to lock up the rears. For reference, this car has about 250 horses, this one has about 115, and this one, the last time we drove it...
It's difficult to say.
It's difficult
We're
to say.
rating between 100 and I would say 170, 180. That's the range where this car normally operates.
But drifting this car is no comparison to drifting this one just because of the welded differential.
You can't compare it. There are so many different reasons why this car goes better sideways. Another huge factor is that one of the first few mods we did on this car was actually, in German it's called Lenkwinkeladapter.
Which allows us to einschlagen der Räder more.
Yeah.
So you can see these adapter plates, which just allow us to put more steering angle, and it's got way more grip. The more angle you have, the greater balls you have.
That's obviously true. Yeah, you will spin out, you will lose control over your car, so make sure you do it in a place where nothing can happen. If you want to get into drifting, you have to rather sooner than later get either a welded diff or a limited slip differential, because it's the only way you can really drift on a track. 70% of the upgrade is already done with a welded diff and more angle. We are not alcoholics, we are just consuming alcohol. We don't suffer from alcoholism, we just have it. Stopp.
Tut mir leid.
Wahnsinn. Prost. Nicer Scheiß.
What's the point of this video? You wanna find out what kind of differential you need. If you do purely drifting, if you have a fun street car, or you just have a daily driver.
Drift.
This car has a clutch type differential. There's also a torsion type differential. There are also electronic differentials, which a lot of M performance cars have, where you can, by electronics and coding, decide how much lockup there is for a certain steering angle, acceleration, speed, and many other factors. You can program it to do lockup. Another big difference with the limited slip differential is not only drifting, but performance driving as well. I've driven this car with an open differential on the racetrack on rather small ones, and you just have a bad feeling for the rear. You never know when it breaks out.
With small ones he means a small track.
Kleiner Schmarrn.
Corners.
Lass mich das sagen.
Der dann sag!
Ja, du bist
Mach,
bitte.
geht schon,
Ich
los.
weißt, ich war so im Flow,
Ich bin
jetzt
ruhig.
hast du wieder
Ich bin
einfach,
ruhig, geht schon.
jetzt hast du
Geht
wieder
schon,
einfach
raus.
rausgehauen.
Ja. Schleicht ein bisschen weiter rum und dann Schatten schaut aufs Auto. Am besten ganz weit weg.
Okay, Heimat.
Einfach zurück zur Heimat. Du sagst straight nach Heimat.
You really notice the difference on corner exit. With the open differential, you have just a bad feeling. You don't know what the rears are doing. These are all rear-wheel drive cars, obviously, for those who don't know. You just have a bad feeling for the rear. With the limited slip differential, you can feel it so well, and it's so easy to steer out or accelerate out of the corner, and the predictability is just a day and night difference.
I don't know where you live, but if you live somewhere where there is occasionally snow in the winter or something like that, take your car, go to a place remote where nothing is that you can hit, and just try it out with your car. Lose traction, lose stability in the corner. Do it so you can practice it for the time when it happens, when you don't want it to happen on the street. Especially in the snow, it's like everything happens in slow motion. The car breaks out in slow motion, you move in slow motion, because everything is so much slowed down because of the very limited traction you have. You have really time to adjust your steering angle, adjust your amount of gas that you give, without having the stress that you would have if you would do it on a wet condition or a dry condition on asphalt, because everything would be happening way faster.
We talked about overpowering the rear wheels with an open differential. This overpowering you feel insanely on snow and the rain. On the dry, not so much, because you have much more friction force trying to hold the rear tires. So to sum it up, in the dry it sucks hard. In the rain you can brake out with an open differential, and in the snow it's a great opportunity to just learn how a rear wheel drive car behaves.
And honestly, in the snow, you don't need to have massive loads of horsepower or a limited slip differential. Your car will break out even if you have 70 or 80 horsepower. It doesn't matter, in the snow your car will break out. You don't have the risk of catching traction and doing a slip in the other side.
Der Gegenpendler.
Der Gegenpendler.
Just for reference, the Miata with its 115 horsepower has no issue breaking traction with an open differential on snow. In the rain it's hard, and on the dry it's, even with the limited slip differential, very difficult.
Diese Reifengeschichte will ich noch erzählen.
Die Reifengeschichte?
Yeah, we noticed by coincidence that our Traggelenk, I think it is called, this part here is fixed to this part here, with this screw. And this screw became loose, so we saw it already out there a few centimeters. So that we don't forget, we took some spray paint and painted our tires. So that this is obviously, oh, something is there, we have to remember it. Today we changed our fuel pump and needed to see if the car works properly. Around 3-5 minutes, I wanted to make a U-turn. Slowly, I noticed a scratching, like metal scratching on the asphalt. I know what it is. And fix it properly now with Loctite. But I just wanted to tell you, it is hard for us to do anything because we are stupid. That's a really, really limiting factor on many things.